Hello people, I am Sky Demolisher and welcome back for another From the Collection Friday, a series where I take things from my collection and show it to you, my viewers. And this week it is my Kaworu Nagisa, I believe that's how you say his name, at least the Kaworu part's right, I think, from Evangelion 3.0. Now you might be familiar with the base. It's the very same kind of base as I think the first Rei Ayanami I ever did in this series. Interestingly, the box for this figure is a lot thinner than the box for Rei. So you get, this is side on, him, front, window, where you can see the plastic and that. Side, other, has, I don't really know. I guess it's kind of like the Magi system. So, and then in the back is just details. It tells you how to put that lance together. Bottom, kind of like the Nerve logo. On the top, it's the same. Not that I particularly think you care. Now, I've had to put the camera into a high angle just because of how he's looking. So if I zoom in, you can see he's giving you those nice cheeky eyes, you know, that come at me, boy. It's probably not a polite way of saying that, but it requires actually having a higher angle because of the way his eyes are looking, and of course how the whole body is bent. So I will zoom out and I will give you a spin. You can see it's that oval base again. So they take up a lot more room than the square base figures, but they are extremely nicely moulded. Now you might remember that with the Rei there was issues with holding her scythe. With this guy there aren't as many issues holding this, this spear or this lance of Longinus. But it can slip out, and unfortunately it takes quite a bit to get it in because of the way that the bottom hand is angled. So there is actually a little slot thing, you know, in the hand that's sort of like a Tetris L shape that you need to push the lance into properly in order to get him to hold it, and then you need to push down the other end up here on his other hand to try to hold it. But of course it can pop out, and that's what happened the other day. At like 5:30 in the morning I heard something fall off the shelf. I got the torch and I looked and I looked and I looked and I was like, well, it's not any of my Black Series figures, because that's what it was the last time there was a noise like that. And I couldn't figure out what it was that had fell. And then the next day I stabbed myself with this Lance of Longinus thing, and my god did it hurt. It is a hard plastic, it is extremely sharp, it hurt a lot. And of course I figured out, right, that's what came off. Couldn't see that in the dark. So you see him in his plug suit, very much like Rei's plug suit. I suspect that if there is a Shinji, and there probably is a Shinji from this this series, it would look exactly like Shinji's. Because if you've seen the third film, and this is from that third film, you cannot redo. He works with Shinji to pilot an Ava. That's right. I'm going to point out he does have a nice sculpted butt. So Rei and Asuka are not the only ones that are getting the nice butt treatment. If that's something you're interested in, I'm not trying to say that I'm a pervert for looking at his ass, but you know, they've done a nice job moulding it to look somewhat realistic to what the characters look like. If that is something that you are quite interested in. Now, the hair probably looks very light grey in the light, but if it's, I don't know if like shading it is really going to work. See, it's a bit darker if you actually take the direct light from off the top. So it is more like the character in the show. The lance is very nicely sculpted. It's pretty much a slot at both ends. There's a slot here and a slot there. You just put those two on the end of the pole and voila, you've got your guy. The plug suit itself is very nicely detailed. I must say that I completely missed that 13 on him that is now showing up in the light. That's actually kind of hidden when he's a bit more darker, so getting the light on it is sort of showing off some of those things. It's a very nice sculpted face. And I love that look, you know, it's that sort of, I don't know, arrogant. It's like a mixture of arrogant and like, you know, being aware of your own sexiness. This video is probably an extremely weird video with some of these comments, but I don't care. I'm sure if you've seen the show, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, he's got that air to him. All around, very, very nicely sculpted figure. Not much in the way at all of stability issues compared to the others. He's very stable. You get him on the base, he basically stands there and all of that. Of course, because of the lance, he's a lot bigger than Ray is. So unfortunately, he doesn't fit into my shelf with the other Evangelion stuff. And his pose is extremely weird. So you kind of need to have him placed lower in order to get a good look at that face. And really, you want to have a good look at that face, don't you? I mean, it's a brilliant sculpt. I actually quite enjoy him. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Sorry for the weird waffling. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.